Hey guys, never done this before, but I wanted to be able to show you pictures of this tractor while I was talking about it. So Dad and I went and looked at this thing today. It's an Oliver 2655. I got the serial number wrote down off of it, but I haven't ran it yet, so I don't know what year it is. But judging by some of the stuff we found on it, it's got to be one of the last ones made. Been kind of looking for a bigger horse to help the 19 out because well, pulling that Glencoe, she struggles a little bit. And with those 310s, they'll make the power and they lug alright, but you don't want to push them to their limit all the time, because you'll just wear it out, and I don't want to kill the poor thing. So, but I got it narrowed down to either this tractor, or I know where I can get a 2255 pretty cheap, but it's got a blown motor. But this tractor's a whole lot closer. It's only about 15 minutes from home here. And he actually had it on Craigslist about a year and a half ago, and he never sold it. And it disappeared, so I figured it was gone. And one of our friends was driving through Berrien Springs one day and happened to notice it and told me about it, and I figured, now what the hell, I'll go up and take a look at it. And this was the first chance I had to do it, so Dad and I drove up there today, and unfortunately the farm it's sitting on isn't actually where the owner lives, but I talked to his neighbor and he gave me the guy's phone number, so I'll have to call him about it. But while Dad and I were up there, we looked at it, and let's just say I remember it looking a whole lot better in the pictures. It's by no means unsavable, and I'm still seriously considering buying it just because, well, I have this bad habit of putting cool factor above practical factor, and damn it, if you're working out with a 2655, you're the ultimate badass. So I really want it, but I'd have to pick it up cheap because it needs work. And supposedly it's only got 1,000 hours on it, and judging by some of the wear points on it, I mean, the old girl still seems pretty tight. So I'd believe it probably got close to that on it, but it's just been neglected is the problem. And it doesn't look like it's they're seeing the inside of a barn for a long time, and it really needs a bath. I think getting it power washed will help it a lot, but like for the hydraulics and the 3-point, there's cables that go from the levers cables that go from inside the cab down to the rear end where the hydraulic valves and the servo valve for the 3-point are. Those cables are rusted in half, so right now you couldn't use the hydraulics on it without replacing all 3 of those cables. It does have a 3-point on it though, which makes me want it even more, because then I could pull a ripper with it, which is another thing I want it for if I get it. But those are bad. The shift linkage for the high-low in it is shot. It needs replaced, or not replaced, but it needs fixed. There's a rod that goes from the lever inside the cab down the side of the frame to a bell crank that on the side of the transfer case. And then there's another rod that goes from that bell crank down to the actual shift link on the transfer case. And the bell crank is, I don't know if the pivot point's busted off or if it's wore so bad it can't actually do anything. It doesn't pivot right or what. But you can't shift the high-low in it. The linkage just flops around. So that would need fixed. The tires on it are kind of meh. The inners, all the tires on it are pretty much shot, but the inners are runnable. The one dual on the left front would need replaced because the sidewall's separating. But looking at it, if I did get it, in the long run, I'd probably just get rid of the duals and get wider rims for it and go up to 20.8 38s, because right now it's on 18.4s. And I really wouldn't want to bite off the $9,000 it'd take to put 8 brand new tires on that thing. So that's probably what I'd do, is take it up to 20.8 singles. And in all honesty, I think that with the right tires on it, them 2655s look just as good with singles as they do with duals. So it's cheaper and it's still look just as cool. So there's that. As far as the motor goes, it's a 585 Moline, and you don't realize how big 585 cubes is until you look at it. I crawled up underneath it and looked at the oil pan, and oh my god, that motor's got to be close to 6 foot long. Holy crap, that thing's big. But it's got open center hydraulics because it's got the gear pump on it. It does have the external oil pump. It's got the updated oil filters on it, which makes me unfortunately, I don't know enough about those 585s to know everything, but I've been asking a lot of questions over the last over the last week or so to kind of try to figure out what to look for. And from what guys have told me, I'm pretty sure that's got to be one of the last ones built. Just judging by all the updates, it looks like the motor's had to it. And it is turbocharged. However, if I got it, I think I'd probably might take the turbo off of it and just run it naturally aspirated, because when Moline came out with these, the turbocharger was an option, and they didn't even call it a turbo. They called it an altitude compensator, which is basically for if you're running it up in like there were certain areas of the Southwest and up in like the foothills of Montana where you're getting into the higher elevations where that big motor turned into a complete another dog when the air got thin. So they offered that turbocharger for it, and like I say, they didn't even advertise it as a turbo. It was an altitude compensator, and that's when those motors really started having issues, was when they threw a turbo on them, because they were just pushing it way too hard. So I don't know, we'll have to see what happens with it, but like I say, with the stuff that needs done to it, I have to pick it up cheap, and the cab on it's not nothing to write home about either. It's got the back glass is busted out of it, the windshield's got a big crack running all the way across it. The push-out windows right in front of the doors have both been busted out, and he replaced them with looks like Lexan or plexiglass or something. Neither one of the doors latch. The one's held on there with the one you don't use is held on there with a ratchet strap, and the other one just flops open. So, I mean, it's got its issues, but damn it, I want it because it looks cool. And if I could pick it up for probably less than $4,000, $4,000 would probably be my max on it, knowing. If it was in better shape, I was thinking I'd probably go 8 on it, but knowing what I know about it after looking at it, I don't think I'd go much higher than 4, because I'd probably have to put at least 4 in it to make it, somewhere between 2 and 4 in it to make it usable, and I haven't even heard it run yet. So, until I hear it run, and heck, if I do hear it run and I don't like what I hear, that offer may drop even further, but I don't think I'd go above 4 on it. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going to hopefully get a hold of the guy here tomorrow or early this week. Of course, depending on when I get this video up, I may have already got a hold of him. I don't know. But I'll just slip an update on it into one of the other videos I make this week and see what happens. But man, I want it because it just looks so freaking cool, and I can just imagine pulling that damn soil saver with it. And if you get, there's only one video of these things actually working around on YouTube, and I think it's on Big Tractor Power, and he's pulling a 6-bottom plow with it, and it's straight piped, and oh my god, that thing's singing nice. I just, want one so bad. So, I don't know if I get it yet. We'll have to see how money works out and how much of a hurry he is to get rid of it, because it is for sale still. So we'll have to see what the money situation is come late spring here, and who knows, you may see it early summer, or if he wants to sell it and he's willing to hold it, you probably very well might see it this fall. So granted, probably won't work any ground with it this year because of what needs done to it, but it may very well show up here. So I guess just stay tuned and we'll see what happens.